Dear listeners, what we're witnessing today could reshape the entire Middle Eastern chessboard. At 7 a.m., a supposed ceasefire between Iran and Israel took effect, but let me tell you, this is far from peaceful. Just moments before the deadline, Iran launched massive missile strikes at Israel's southern capital, Beersheba, leaving 4 dead and countless under rubble. This isn't just another Middle Eastern skirmish. It's a deadly game with global implications. Think about it. While President Trump announces peace, missiles are still flying. Is this really peace? Or are we watching a strategic pause in a much larger confrontation? The timing is crucial, especially with Russia's shadow looming over these events through Medvedev's provocative statements about nuclear capabilities. What we're seeing unfolds like a carefully orchestrated theater of war. Iran demonstrates its missile capabilities. Israel maintains its defensive stance, and global powers circle like hawks. But here's what should really concern you. This isn't just about Iran and Israel. This is about a new world order taking shape before our eyes. The implications are staggering. Energy prices could spike, affecting your wallet directly. Global trade routes might shift, impacting everything from your grocery bills to fuel costs. And let's not forget the nuclear dimension. When former leaders start discussing nuclear transfers, it's time to pay very close attention. Israel has until 7 p.m. to respond, and believe me, they're weighing their options carefully. The question isn't if they'll respond, but how. What we're witnessing could be the calm before an even bigger storm. This 12-day conflict might be ending on paper, but the real game is just beginning. Stay tuned as we unpack what this means for global stability, your security, and your future. Speaking of security, I find it fascinating how these events parallel historic moments of apparent peace that preceded major global shifts. Where are you watching this unfold from? Share your location in the comments below. Let's map out how this crisis is being perceived across different regions. Remember, understanding global events isn't just about following news. It's about preparing for what comes next. Let's analyze this tense situation that's unfolding before our eyes. The peculiar case of Pakistan's nationwide strike against Israel's actions reveals the depths of global political confusion. Imagine shutting down an entire country to protest events happening thousands of miles away. It's like trying to extinguish a fire by closing your eyes. These demonstrations, from American campuses to European streets, represent a concerning pattern of misguided activism. But what's truly alarming is the escalating situation with Iran. The recent missile attacks were particularly devastating, with random strikes across residential areas. In Beersheba, the heart of a residential quarter was hit, resulting in 4 tragic deaths. The footage shows the true horror of what happens when people ignore safety protocols. Those who perished weren't in shelters. A crucial detail that underscores the importance of civilian discipline during such critical moments. I've personally visited these areas, walked these streets. When you see missile strikes hitting places you once stood, it brings home the reality of this conflict. What's particularly concerning is that amid this chaos, people still risk their lives for social media content, filming attacks through open windows. This reckless behavior needs to stop. Want to know how events like these might affect your region? Share in the comments where you're watching from, and I'll provide an in-depth analysis of your area's strategic significance. Your perspective, especially if you're viewing from outside Russia, could add valuable context to our understanding of these global tensions. The Iranian response to the U.S. strikes on their nuclear facilities presents a complex strategic puzzle. They face a critical choice: execute an effective response or maintain strategic restraint. But here's what's keeping military analysts awake at night. The pattern of these attacks suggests something bigger is brewing. Subscribe to stay informed about these crucial developments. The next few days could reshape the entire geopolitical landscape, and you won't want to miss our detailed analysis of what's coming next. The truth is, what we're seeing now might just be the calm before an even bigger storm. Title: Iran's Strategic Show of Force, a Calculated Response at Al-Udeid. The recent events surrounding Iran's missile strike on Al-Udeid airbase in Qatar present a fascinating case of military theater. Let's analyze this carefully orchestrated demonstration of force that reveals more about diplomatic messaging than actual warfare. Iran chose a demonstrative approach rather than targeting the Hormuz Strait, a move that would have been suicidal given the massive American military presence in the Middle East, plus Israel and moderate Arab allies. Instead, they executed a carefully choreographed operation. The strike involved 10 missiles targeting Al Udeid, America's largest Middle Eastern base. Crucially, Iran provided advance warning through Qatari intermediaries, allowing for evacuation of personnel and equipment. This wasn't meant to cause damage. It was political theater. Regional airspace was systematically closed by Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. American aircraft maintained defensive positions while older, easily interceptable missiles made their slow journey. Of the 10 launched, 6 were intercepted, 4 fell in the desert, and 1 landed in an empty area of the massive base. The aftermath was equally scripted. Qatar issued obligatory statements about sovereignty violation. Saudi Arabia expressed concern, but tensions quickly de-escalated. President Trump even thanked Iran for the advance warning. The entire episode lasted mere hours, with 0 casualties or significant damage. The scale of Al Udeid base itself is worth noting. It's visible from Google Maps as an enormous installation with vast empty spaces, making it an ideal target for this type of demonstration. The single missile that landed did so in an uninhabited area, exactly as planned. This episode demonstrates Iran's strategic calculation, showing capability while carefully avoiding actual escalation that would trigger devastating retaliation. It's a classic example of modern political signaling through military means. What do you think about this calculated approach to international conflicts? Share your thoughts in the comments about whether such diplomatic theater is effective or dangerous. In a significant development, we're observing a familiar pattern in Iran's military response strategy. The recent events mirror the January 2020 scenario following General Qasem Soleimani's elimination. Let's analyze the tactical similarities and implications. Today's focus is on Iran's latest military action, the attack on the Al Udeid base in Qatar. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, branded this as Operation Victory Blessing, claiming devastating effects. However, reality tells a different story. Approximately 10 missiles launched, with most intercepted, and no reported casualties. This mirrors the 2020 Martyr Soleimani operation playbook. Then, Iran struck 2 U.S. bases in Iraq after pre-warning, resulting in only minor injuries from concussions. Despite minimal impact, Iran's internal messaging claimed massive American casualties. What's particularly intriguing is the stark contrast between Iran's public declarations and observable reality. Their statement boasts of devastating and powerful missile strikes, yet satellite imagery and real-time monitoring tell a different story. The question arises, is this theater primarily for domestic consumption or international posturing? The pattern suggests a calculated approach. Maintain face internally while avoiding actual escalation externally. It's a delicate balance between appearing strong to their population while preventing a full-scale conflict with superior military powers. This strategic ambiguity serves multiple purposes. Satisfies domestic audience demands for retaliation, provides face-saving exit ramps, maintains deterrence without triggering major escalation, creates negotiating leverage for future discussions. Current developments suggest both sides are seeking de-escalation paths while maintaining public positions of strength. This diplomatic dance, coupled with measured military responses, indicates a potential pathway to stability. What do you think about this strategic approach by Iran? Is it effective diplomacy or merely theatrical performance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Breaking news: Israel's strategic silence and military operations. What's really happening? In a critical development, Israel maintains silence regarding the announced ceasefire, with no official response to the cessation of hostilities. While some might interpret this as a loss of sovereignty or Trump's unilateral decision-making, the reality appears more strategically calculated. What we're witnessing could be coordination between Netanyahu and Trump. Israel has been granted a 12-hour window, crucial time for completing specific military objectives in Iran, though not enough to trigger regime change. Recent Israeli operations have been intense, targeting Iran's internal security apparatus and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, with unprecedented precision. These strikes occurred just before and after Iran's missile attack. We're talking about dismantling a terrorist organization that has effectively hijacked a nation with millennia of Persian history. Yesterday's operations were effective, with precision strikes hitting IRGC command centers during planning meetings. The Fordo facility became another key target, with the strategy shifting from direct facility strikes to targeting access points. Using sophisticated weaponry, including one-ton bombs like the EBU-28, Israeli forces focused on sealing off facility entrances and transport routes. This tactical approach suggests Iran likely failed to evacuate enriched uranium from the facility. The timeline between operation initiation and strikes was too compressed for successful material extraction. Israel has deliberately avoided targeting Iran's economic infrastructure. Facilities like Kengan and Karg remain untouched, indicating a calculated approach to pressure points. The precision of these operations and their timing suggests high-level coordination rather than impulsive action. Each strike appears carefully planned to maximize impact while minimizing certain types of escalation. What do you think about the current situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective matters in understanding these complex developments. Remember to follow for more in-depth analysis of developing situations that impact global security and stability. Breaking news: Israel's strategic strike campaign reshapes Middle Eastern power balance. In a significant military operation, Israel has conducted extensive strikes against Iranian military infrastructure, achieving notable strategic objectives. Let's analyze the key developments and their implications. The operation targeted critical Iranian military assets, including missile launch facilities, weapons factories, and strategic bases. Notably, while inflicting severe damage on military installations, Israel deliberately avoided targeting Iran's oil production facilities, despite their connection to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Intelligence reports confirm substantial damage to Iran's military and nuclear programs, effectively diminishing their operational capabilities for the foreseeable future. This strategic success grants Israel enhanced operational freedom in the region, marking a decisive advantage in this round of confrontation. Iranian Foreign Minister Arakchi's Moscow visit proved unfruitful, with Russia declining direct support. This diplomatic setback exposed the transactional nature of Iran-Russia relations, previously characterized by arms deals involving drone technology transfers at premium prices. A peculiar development emerged when former Russian President Medvedev made an unfounded claim about nations willing to transfer nuclear capabilities to Iran. This statement contradicts basic nuclear proliferation realities, given that only a handful of nations possess such capabilities, primarily the US, UK, and France. The current situation suggests Israel has achieved its minimum strategic objectives, though military leadership continues monitoring developments. While attention may soon shift to other regional challenges, including tensions along various borders, this operation's success marks a significant shift in regional power dynamics. What's particularly noteworthy is Iran's diminished military position, despite their continued rhetorical defiance. The effectiveness of Israel's precision strikes demonstrates superior tactical capabilities and intelligence operations. What do you think about the current situation and its impact on regional stability? Share your analysis in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are well-informed experts whose insights could add valuable perspective to this discussion. The recent discourse around nuclear capabilities has taken an interesting turn, particularly regarding Medvedev's controversial statements. Let's analyze the current nuclear landscape. Only 8 nations possess these weapons, including Pakistan, India, and Israel. The notion of any of these nations transferring nuclear capabilities to Iran is, frankly, absurd. Medvedev's recent statement caused quite a stir, prompting Trump to respond directly. Trump questioned Medvedev's casual mention of nuclear transfers to Iran, demonstrating how seriously the U.S. takes such rhetoric. Medvedev quickly backtracked, citing non-proliferation treaties and attempting to clarify his statement. 2 possible explanations emerge from Medvedev's commentary. 1. A careless statement made without considering implications. 2. a calculated probe to gauge American reaction. The U.S. response was swift and clear, with Trump specifically mentioning American submarine capabilities. This direct response effectively ended any further nuclear rhetoric from that direction. Currently, we're approaching a critical juncture with the announced ceasefire. Israel maintains operational freedom until 19th Sao, suggesting we might see additional strikes against Iranian targets before the cessation of hostilities. The primary objective appears achieved: preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear capabilities. The strategic timing of these events isn't coincidental. Military operations are wrapping up as diplomatic channels activate, indicating a shift in the regional dynamic. However, these final hours before the ceasefire could prove crucial in cementing the current strategic advantages. This situation exemplifies how nuclear politics interweave with conventional military operations, creating a complex web of international relations and strategic decisions. What's your take on Medvedev's comments and their implications? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm particularly interested in hearing your expert opinions on this matter.